the blessing is that you got it and you was able to pass it on to your youth, and especially as he's in those coming of age years. I think it's beautiful that your awakening, your enlightening, and your understanding is able to dawn and peak at the same time as he's coming into his awareness of himself at 14 years old. Black power. Anybody else? It's still August for a couple more days. What have you done this month, this week, today to honor the ancestors, to study, fast train, or fight in honor of the revolutionaries who've come before us?
Hey,
Black
Freedom,
power.
Black Power. Freedom, am I on?
Oh, Black power. I think we got the chairman on the call right now.
Bring 'em on,
Everybody.
Chairman.
Freedom, comrades. Freedom, can y'all hear me? Free,
Can hear
Freedom,
you loud and clear.
right on,
Can
right
hear
on.
you loud and clear. You got the floor.
Yes, indeed, right on. Freedom, first and foremost, I'm self-critical for getting in late. Been we ain't gonna cry the blues. Ain't no music playing, but it's been a rough day. But we ain't gonna cry the blues. I wanna thank y'all for giving the opportunity to touch down, right to bit of dialogue with the comrades and also the people in general. I appreciate the fact that we was able to kind of extend the usual protocol in which the comrades convene the political education, and I just even add, I put up a call for open up to our YouTube station, YouTube, which is on Chairman Fred Jr. It's been quite some time since I done our usually we have our Freedom on Radio. I think it's been since last December. I've actually it's been actually since last December, or actually November since I think we did the last Freedom on Radio. But I want to take advantage of take advantage of the time, and this I'm hoping that the call get out to many of the participants, the artists, the vendors, and the people in general. I wanted to do a political education in regards to the significance of this upcoming event, the Chairman Fred Streets Party. A little background on it for a number of reasons. Every year around this date, August 30th, which is one of the major annual events that we convene the Black Panther Party clubs. In fact, we do coalition with the December 4th committee and other forces. And this year we with Ministry of European Defense, Gun Club, and some others going to be doing this. And two dates in particular, this and December the 4th, are major dates with us. And always around these dates in particular, the counterinsurgency, the COINTELPRO, the attacks in general, they become intensified. And you may notice even a little bit. I hate to even say this, acknowledge this in public. I'm a little drained, battle fatigued. But we're gonna go in the corner, get a shot of water, come on back out swinging. This time this again is always intensified attacks, but this I guess has been compounded with so many dynamics happening. One, we coming up on the 60th anniversary of the Black Panther Party. In fact, that's the actual theme. And you go back and look in the backlog of some of the Chairman Fred Street parties, or actually International Revolutionary Day. In fact, all of our venues, all of our events, whether it's a free food program, free breakfast, free medical center, we struggle to put the Panther Club pill in the applesauce. In other words, politicize it for historical stakes and for security sakes, laying out the significance of what we're doing. In fact, we just had an event a few days ago in which there was some contradictions that occur, and we all expect contradictions, but we just want to make sure that we lay out for the history of what's really happening. That it's never devalued to a beef or a personal subjective issue, but even if the pawns in the game don't know the significance of the role they're playing, that they're saying that we, a service of the people, and service of history, that we lay out politically what's really going on. And this is no exception. This upcoming Chairman Fred Street Party. This will be the first. This will be the first event, official event we've had since this past December the 4th. Again, those are two major events that we have. I guess give you like a frame of reference. We're talking about like people like this. Savior's Day. The Nation is a major event with the Nation of Islam. This is a major event for us, the Chairman Fred Street Party, Again, Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. was born August the 30th, 1948. We convened right at the site, which we reference as one of our ground zeros, the site in which Defense Captain, 22-year-old Defense Captain Mark Clark was assassinated and 21-year-old Chairman Fred was assassinated. It's now been technically, I guess, I would say officially, even by state standards, definition, references, Chairman Fred Hampton. The way we go back, I don't know how long, decades. I mean, people reminded me of occasions. They recall myself, my mother, being out in the freezing cold, December the 4th, for just convenient. Then it was elevated to National Revolutionary Day, then later to International Revolutionary Day. And we, in fact, we say no matter how hot it is in August, we're gonna make sure we're there. And no matter how cold it is in December, we're gonna be there. Usually we go and do the clenched fist vigil. We call for those who are held captive in the concentration camps throughout the country, throughout the world, in fact, to stop what they're doing, 12 o'clock Central Time, clenched fist in the air. And then, a mother comrade, formerly known as Deborah Johnson, she would give a blow by blow, if you will, what happened on December 4th, 1969. And not just that, but also there were members of the Black Panther Party, other freedom fighters that we're going to say come and talk, and the people in general, the impact that not only Chairman Fred, but the Black Panther Party had on them. And throughout the history, there's always been attempts to, co-opt it or water it down, and then sometimes it's increased, and it's definitely been increased. For those who don't know, there was an assassination attempt on my life this past December the 3rd, right by the location, 2337 West Chairman Fred Hampton Way, and I've been subsequently. Shortly after that, I was issued some additional trumped-up charges, and this isn't to be it should be intertwined in the conversation. Charges basically stated I was not to be even on the site, the location where Chairman Fred and Mark Clark was at. And I'm really, the more work we do, the more the more respect I gain for the legacy of the Black Panther Party. In fact, I've said, even with the court cases I'm dealing with now, though not in the same arena legally speaking, this case and the case that in regards to the murder, the assassination of Tupac was going on right now. Our two present day arenas, courtroom arenas, in which this present day generation can grasp the impact of the Black Panther Party, the COINTELPRO, and the continue counterinsurgency. I've seen people who reference themselves as Tupac enthusiasts, who just even watching bits and like clips, sound bites from the courtroom, are saying, "Wait a minute, I didn't know this, And sad to say, many times it takes the ruling class arenas to make it official for certain people. And even various forces, say in the music arena, even referencing the term, even saying the term assassination. And some people may not see the significance of that. We struggle for the significance of that because, as Minister Huey P. Newton said, he doesn't fear death. He fears death without a purpose. In opposition to such forces, even Pac, who was deprived of an organization such as the Black Panther Party. In fact, it was a quote on Cool and Jerry. She would say that Pac needed organization, and organization needed Pac. But his death should not be devalued, nothing less than that of assassination. Just because the people political conscience level is not to a certain degree does not mean that the government is putting things on reserve or hold. And that's a struggle. We go through a lot of people they say, well, Chairman, y'all should just kind of dumb it down, slow it down for different arenas. But the reality is that the counterinsurgency is fast advancing. In many cases, many things we have to do it and say it in a way through our flyers, through our statements and our positions, even when it's not popular. And maybe when it seems like, I don't want to use the word advanced, but I'm going to use this word because I told his brother yesterday. So you know what? Just reference some of us as being different, not better, but different. Because that, even in Pac's life, was something that many people couldn't grasp, and they do their conventional definition. Colonialism, not only as Field Marshal George Jackson, not only affects the economy, it affects the psychic, and it gives many people a ring. This is how you, if this happened, this is a gangster. If this happened, this is a athlete. And many people have never had their frame of reference because the system is going to make sure that that dynamic of a revolutionary, that dynamic of having a love for the people, and it's a politic that goes with that. And so sometimes, in fact, that's why we have to utilize different arenas to put the Panther Cub pill in the applesauce so people can relate, you know what I'm saying, to relate. But it's just, again, being the servants of the people is something that's a lot of times it's foreign to people. Many people might make reference to a slave, but a servant is something that may seem foreign to many people, and we're struggling for a climate that people can be able to relate to that, and also we come not with a idealism or a presumption that just because someone understands what it is or relates to it, that they would take this take a position, unite with taking that position. In fact, it may have been Parker Face. I think it said, "You ain't got to bump it, but please respect it." And that's how we have to view such dynamics, because many people are incapable, and I'm saying this as humbly as I can, are incapable of referencing or relating this individual's committing themselves, you know what I'm saying, engage in serving the people without a profit to it. And certain experiences, you know what I'm saying, that it's not only theory, not just the reading. I know many people subscribe to, well, once you start eating right, or once you read a particular book, you can relate to certain dynamics. We different in that. We take a different position in that. I'm steady learning. I'm still, and I'm this case, in fact, that we're dealing with. This case, there are certain contradictions that are being learned and confirmed and exposed that have to happen even for my development, and that there's no way possible you can read in the book. In fact, I said at one courtroom convening, when I went to the court, there were individuals who was literally aligned with the state. And it was, I guess, to draw an analogy that people may, I guess a good analogy, or best analogy I probably can provide off the top of my head is, it was like some Muslims walking in the mosque, and you seeing some individuals openly eating pork, openly, and not under duress, not like there was no other option, not like the police was torturing these people, but and to see people literally doing, you know what I'm saying, with aligned with the state, and you have to come to grips that, wait a minute, because we often said the word sellout is one of the most overused terms in our community. Many people say, "Oh," and you say, "Wait a minute, this ain't some of these individuals. This ain't their first rodeo." You have to humble yourself and say certain conditions got to bring out things that may be dormant. Capitalism, something like the coronavirus, it may be dormant in certain occasions, but certain things can trigger to bring it out, and it stinks, and we can say we prepare for it and relate to it, but a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, and it heightens contradiction that many people are not ready for. This time period, it's like we say, it's a blitz on black people. You know what I'm saying? There's no safe arena. Whatever you want to look at, you know what I'm saying? We say, well, for many years, people say, well, if you get your education, you'll be all right. We're seeing cases, whether it be the Nolan Wells. We're seeing cases of Carmelo Anthony. We're seeing cases that transcend even many people try to get comfortable in the class context. Well, it doesn't. It has. You have to do this for that to happen to you, because no way possible. This system is doing it to you. We're seeing the mass lynchings, and it's a time period when the emperor has no clothes on, and it's raw, and that's an era that's terrible, but it's fine. It's terrible, it's fine. Terrible, again, of course, because in a war, like any war, we experience casualties. But it's fine because this it acknowledges that this ongoing war that's been happening. It may be during certain periods. Looking through the past Chairman Fred Street's parties, the International Revolutionary Day. Look at our past flyers. You can you can look at and there's certain things, certain terms that were put in there. Say, whoa, wait a minute, what was going? Why was the folding chair a theme for the Chairman Fred Street Party, particularly year? What was going on? What was the significance of the folding chair? Why was the People's Convention significant at this particular time? Why was electoral politics addressed at this particular time? It's like a calendar for the colonized community. And this thing for this year is forward to the 60th. And I recall 10 years ago, the 60th, actually more than 10 plus years ago, when we was working going to the 50th anniversary of the Black Panther Party. And we struggled to make sure on the 47th we did something in Sacramento. We did different places. 'Cause we anticipated in periods like this where it's like a trigger, like a dog whistle, in many cases like a pig whistle. You know what I'm saying? You see the opportunists and different people that come out, and it can relate to this. One of our sayings, we say many people are black, become black when it's beneficial, play Panther when it's profitable, and connect to being Cubs when it's comfortable. And some people say, well, that's good, like they seen the light. But the deal is, in many cases, as Malcolm X gave analogy about the March on Washington, it was something organized by the masses of people initially. And the ruling class got word about it. And they called the usual suspects to say, okay, listen, you need to shut this down. That's their first option. And there's been an attempt to don't have no discussion about the Black Panther Party. Then so when the deal is, they start connecting, wait a minute, it's a different language going on. The terms, they can pick up on the way they relate, the way. So wait a minute, they not them cats in the Panther Party back in the '60s. They weren't wearing the berets like the French. It was a different dynamic. The leather jackets was different. The Panther Cubs. When we say they're saying free them all. They're not using the Queen's English. Say wait a minute. So then it come to grips that wait a minute. The people, the forces they put in place. When there was a fight they had a street after Chairman Fred over 20 plus years ago, the ruling class tried to stop it. The next step was, okay, put a selected few, the spokesperson in front of it. As Malcolm said, the March on Washington was, and we talk about the Big Six. And then that's another dynamic that a lot of us, it's a border that many of us can't bump into because as opposed to colonialism, neo-colonialism, because race nationalism can suffice in certain arenas. You're just white and black. And many times it's you can't you to go advance past that it can the political maturity is not strong enough in many cases for that. So there are certain dynamics because again many of us it's like regardless of the tax being waived, a lot of people want to bring a knife to a gunfight, and it's in certain situations that happen. Is God, like General Marcus Garvey said when all else fails to organize the people, the conditions will. And then and you see certain conditions where the ruling class, put out its tool chest. You know what I'm saying? Not the blatant colonialism. Similar to you see the uprising, rebellions throughout the country. You say, wait a minute, where does black police chief come at? You know what I'm saying? What are these Negro? Then you say, wait a minute, these people are grown. They weren't birthed. They're not babies. So this is something that's not new. Like people talk lynching, the way it's done, the move, it's like you have to say, wait, you have to humble yourself and say, maybe I'm new to what's happening. Because as Chairman Mao Zedong stated in the Red Book, a bourgeoisie, as well as a petty bourgeoisie characteristic is that you think that anything happens, any happen good is because of you, happen bad because of you. Or that old saying go, if a tree falls in the forest and doesn't make a sound, excuse me, if you don't hear it, it doesn't make a sound. And many people actually believe that. If they didn't hear it, it didn't fall. Because they didn't know about it. You look on old cans of Lysol, and they say coronavirus, they've been having it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling this country about the data centers they talking about now. Ain't no telling how long it's been going on. The deal is, so we coming in from a deficit on so many conversations, and there's a climate now where it's right for people to say to acknowledge the Black Panther Party. The climate, in contrast to a period of time when people were scared to even say the word black, even saying the word, saying don't say it like that. And they're not even mention the Black Panther Party. They're not even mention the Black Panther Party. So you know what I'm saying? So you have to put in the context.
Right on, Chairman Fred.
Yes, sir.
Right on.
Okay, you want to jump in?
I think we got a hand from the audience. I want to be able to pose some of the comrades who got questions.
Oh, right on, Corinne.
Right on. Commander, you got the floor. I see your hands.
Black Power. That was a mistake. Black Power.
Black Power. I apologize. Chairman Fred, you got the floor.
No problem, Corinne. Right on. You Let me state this. This event, the Chairman Fred Street Party, where people, everything that made from the naked eye, from the apolitical eye, that made it sound seem insignificant. Everything from it's so many when we like what and I know everything down from the colors to the terms, how we move, is political. It's a certain politic to it, and we know that and everything that we encounter is political. I want to just say this in all humbleness. It may come in on the outside. Many people can see the same situation, same event, same news story, and come up with different scenarios. When you go on doing the era of chattel slavery, when Reverend Nat Turner had a sermon, it was cool if you left that quoting Psalms or Genesis, but the deal was Reverend Nat Turner came with a mission, and that was saying in regards to hiding the contradictions of fighting for liberation and not forcing and recognizing those who want to go in different stages, those who ain't got the stomach for it. But that was the purpose. That was his. I mean, I may be out of line, but I'm using a philosophical tool we relate to dialectical materialism. That was the momentum. That was the emphasis of getting the church, not to see who's the best dressed in church service, but to see, man, and back to what is as he stated, a vision, had a vision, and moving forward, praise the Lord, and past admonition. The Negro spirituals. Harriet Tubman, the dynamic is a phenomenon. We can get the best singers, all that, and Wade in the Ward, all that. But the deal is, man, making sure we get this try to follow this North Star, make it more to liberation, and coming in with a position of not recognizing that even Harriet Tubman herself, she couldn't even trip with her husband. Couldn't even tell him what was going on. Not coming into the Chairman Fred Street Party with some sort of idealism or romanticism that everyone here is uniting with the dynamic of Chairman Fred, the Black Panther Party. We deal with the real world. We going, So we want the deal is set a climate. We catch going. Some people gonna fake the funk, but our best security is the people. And said it's so intensified that people cannot pick out the weak links, but also the leadership got to be able to recognize what's what, and give people opportunity to engage in a revolutionary act. And people say, well, I don't. We may just think it just be we just minimize it. But no, you say again that quote from I think it was Parkinson. You ain't got to bump it, but please respect it. Some people may be coming. Some people will be coming to this event for get a relationship, to say they done something black this shit, whatever the case may be. But the deal is the resounding dynamic of what Chairman Fred made it clear he was a revolutionary. To be able to leave us to recognize, even though they cannot articulate it, because we related with Stephen Biko with the Black Conscious Movement said that black people in particular must grasp the ability to distinguish intelligence from the ability to articulate. In other words, the masses of people can, you look at certain locations throughout the country where the Black Panther Party, the politics was laid down, it cultivated a certain soil where you can't sell certain snake oil playing games with the legacy of the Black Panther Party. It was, even though they might not convert back, they couldn't run down the 10-point platform, they couldn't run down the dynamics or distinguish socialism from capitalism, but there's a certain thing that said, no, that's the business. That's what that was. And so to be able to pick up on it and say, man, that's the way we deal with each other. Because the deal is, this system is so Machiavellian. They're tweaking their tactics. They're creating clones. They create AI, all that stuff. To be able to go down there so people can relate to it. We just came from Gary, Indiana a few days ago. And I was struggling for us. This is how we operate, So we said we going there. We went to Flint, Michigan, in response. We got that. We went to Minnesota the same night, literally the same night that George Floyd was murdered by the P. Derek Chauvin. The same night, because of a resume of politics, we had the programs that we had down in that particular area. Soon as George Floyd was murdered, our defense captain, before she's defense captain, the leadership, the work down in history down there in Minnesota, I remember that night. She said, hey, Chairman, it's finna go down. Not because we psychics. That particular area had it been a block away, it could have been a different response. Studying the people, the locations, everything, the history. They get down there knowing how to move, how to relate with the people. Flint, Michigan, the National Guard, they came. It was certain forces amongst even us, some certain members who were not allowed to be able to come, to go in, like literally that morning, going to Flint, Michigan that morning, literally, stop the bus. Certain forces can't go. You know what I'm saying? Can't go. There's a certain political education, you know what I'm saying, and certain maneuvers, you know what I'm saying, the people have to be able to grasp, and minimum respect. You know what I'm saying? Because deal is one thing, we have no issue with ignorance, but arrogance and ignorance is a different dynamic, and sometimes we can tolerate it, but the stakes are high. The stakes are high. And I know people, you know, may say, well, I'm doing this and that, but this is the politics, and I mean, this may sound, I don't know, this is something we see as our people, like other communities have a cleansing process. Like you look at the mafioso movies, you know, so they can go in there to the church and say, okay, well, you know, you engage in a certain amount of killing. So the church is a cleansing process. The politics is like a cleansing process for us to be able to come through, because none of us gonna come out of this clean. Every day on this plantation, it's, you know, what I'm saying, you getting some on your fingernails, on your toenails. It's some even it's some. Normally they go to them plantations and shit. They get on their teeth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the case may be with the deal is, and to be able to have nothing else. To say on certain days up front, say no, yeah, man, we acknowledging this here. Now, even though it's an official city holiday, before that, to be able to up front to say, man, identify sage names of Assata Shakur, to relate to him, and put it in context, and not this is not just what did you know this person, whatever, to somebody that we can relate to, because in so many cases we're giving individuals who don't even know us, whether we, you know what I'm saying, entertainers, politicians, whatever the case may be. We again, back to the situation in Gary, Indiana. Soon we touch down there with the community. The sister, she approaches, she tells us, I need you to get this address. You know, I didn't know I didn't know, I ain't recognize the sister. In fact, she told me, she said, listen, her friend, one of her friends said, hey, he can't go down and get that, he can't move to get that done at tree. She said, oh, yes, he can. They're gonna get it done. And I asked, I said, where is this street at? I'm trying to let her know I don't live up here in Gary. She said, oh, so she said, oh, you don't know, I'm from the Calumet Met building. My son's father is such and such. You know, she laying this down to us, you know, and that even that we need, like I said, battle fatigue. I mean, we go through it. The confidence from the community. Sometimes, like you have your resume with the people. That's our charge. You know what I'm saying? We learn from them. So we, you know, so we're able to go through there. We didn't even know the people, you know, so Brother Fraser gonna have the chainsaw. You know, so we didn't no training program. It felt good to be able to serve the people. We get the basic template. We struggle with that every year we do this thing. But it's so people can pick up on it. I look forward to the day where, you know what I'm saying, like ministry organizations, they don't even have no flyers for their events. You don't have no flyers for their events. But whether it be LA or Chicago, it's a confidence. Yes, sir. I mean, yes. Someone say something, question?
Yeah, Black Power. Did someone have a question, or did someone come off mute? Black Power, I think you got the floor, Chairman.
Right on, Cameron. So I basically I want to say that how significant this is. You know what I'm saying? Again, and this is not just. And I'm not talking about this in a detached way. All of our days, this should be all of. We talk about General Garvey, Marcus Garvey. We talk about the Malcolm X, all the different. I mean, the Faneuil Hemings. We want it to become natural in us. It's a confidence, a climate. How we move is significant, and people should be considered honored. Artists should be should say, "I performed there." I had a situation, ironically, right across the street from the mural, the Chamber. This was some years back. This is about 15, 20 years ago, for one of the Chairman Fred Street Party. And it was these brothers, I forgot the name of their group, they done like not the quartet, like the singing, like the, you know, like the old, like the Temptations type thing. So I'm talking to these brothers, and talking about them performing. And one of the individuals had said something to the effect, well, how much, it's 3 or 4 of them. And these older guys. And he said, how much we getting paid? And the other brothers looked at him, they stopped and looked at him. And they looked at me, my response, you know, and And I look, I said, man, this is something I'm saying. The people coming to do, you know what I'm saying, blah. And I said a little more. I said a little more passionately than that though. But ironically, the brother had said, one of the brothers, he said, man, you remember that time? He said, that man sounded like his father. He said, you remember that time we was talking about doing, he said, his Chairman Fred's daddy was telling us to do an event, and you said that same thing then. He said, Dad, and the guy didn't even notice it. And I said, wow. And he said, Chairman Fred, got him clear. And I was tripping off of him. I'm sitting there, I'm bringing this for a couple of reasons. We don't have some sort of idealism that once you grasp this here, that you're gonna become a different person. Because we take into account, you know what I'm saying, where you come from, your past history, and what arenas you may be in, what type of ecosystem, you know what I'm saying, you to operate, to operate how you move. But on a certain day, it's gonna be it's a certain dynamic that there's an aura that people say, hold on that day, what's going on. I'm switching lanes a little bit, but I'm still on the expressway with you. It's I remember we did the Martyr of the Month campaign that we had in a lockdown. And Martyr of the Month, each month in the prisons, in the concentration camps, we would stop what we were doing. There were no person, no commissary. And we clench fist salute. And the people on the outside, they would, they would stand in solidarity with us. And to this day, when you meet other prisoners, you can tell who knew the business. They would know automatically. January 17th. Didn't defense Bunchy Carter, Didn't education John Huggins. February 21st, Malcolm X. March 10th, Harriet Tubman. April 6th, Lil Bobby Hutton. June 21st, General Marcus Mosiah Garvey. July, Larry Roberson. July 18th, Larry Roberson, Illinois chapter Black Panther Party, assassinated by Chicago Police Department. August 21st, Field Marshal George Jackson. September 13th, Attica, in which you also caught the time in Parkland later on too. October 8th, Commandante Ernesto Che Guevara. November 13th, Spurgeon J. Winters assassinated by Chicago Police, 58 from Wabash. December the 4th, International Revolutionary Day. And automatic, and people would know these dates, and they would move, in concert. And there was a certain aura on those dates. It was, so you can the atmosphere was different throughout the camps. How the different street organizations, how they greet each other, And I remember one situation, one concentration camp where we had the Latin Kings in particular put the flyers in Spanish, and we put them up. It was around the time they said to execute Mumia Abu Jamal, and they came. The wardens and the guards. They came on the unit. When they came on the unit, they shut it down. It was nighttime. They came on the unit to stop. Everybody stand up and do our clench fist salute. And when they came on, and when they came out there, the North Siders were kind of like equivalent to like the not Klans, Aryan Brotherhood or something of the sort. These are white nationalism, so on and so forth. They said something. They said, hey, they got a right to do that, because their thing was they ain't up with it, but they would go in their cells when this happened, quiet, or and so they was telling the guard, they got a right to do it. So they took a stand. So I said, okay, we got it from now. We gonna defend Malcolm right on for the stand. We right on. We got this, So the warden said, well, we didn't know nothing about this. I said, well, we found it odd, warden, that you would be roaming the prison with your staff at this late at night. Since coming on the unit, you didn't know nothing about it, And he said, well, just let us know, And that's a unique self-determination of being able on your own terms. It was a certain feeling to go cut that sister's tree down without asking her to fill out a form. It's a certain feeling we have about it. And after a while, you do it, it becomes natural. You can pass it down for generations. You to the point that you can, in El Salvador, you can pick the children of which ones relate to the MS-13 or the MS-18, and which side their parents was on the conflict with the conflict on the U.S. conflict in El Salvador. And so we're going to ingrain it for nothing else for the next generation. You know what I'm saying? And that that move, you know what I'm saying, and to this day, you will meet prisoners to this day, and the relationship they have, you know what I'm saying, with the martyr of the month. The organizer at the former chairman Fred Hampton Uhuru House on 54th and Halsted. As soon as we got the word that the sister Zenobia was found burnt in a garbage can, it wasn't starting from a clear clear ground. We had a work history to be able to relate to the people, you know what I'm saying, go over there and hit the ground, you know what I'm saying, the ground rolling. So we want this to be so consistent, you know what I'm saying, and we want people to come in with a realist, understanding that everybody can't relate to someone, you know what I'm saying, making a commitment, you know what I'm saying, for their life, you know, for our people. But hey, again, ain't got a bump, but please respect it. Everything, our terms, when we hosting, when we speaking, hey, man, the free amount, long man, not in some sort of egotism, Chairman Fred, but again, these are different examples, real models. You know what I'm saying? So the people say, well, man, I was talking to some youngsters yesterday, they 24, 25. And when they found out he in the Chairman Fred 21 years old, it impacted, how the young people say, it hit different. So that's what we want. I really want to stress that, but the political significance of the upcoming day, we got 3 days coming up. We had wanted to go to Memphis, 'cause even the time and so much stuff going on. Commander, they might could touch on this too, because we was in Mississippi, and the significance of something that Emmett Till and some more different down there. We wanted to go down there too, but this 28th, we may, we want to also make this annually. And I learned more about John Baptiste Point du Sable. This is the first non-native, non-indigenous, you know what I'm saying, person. This is the African, the brother from Haiti. He's from Haiti. And, you know, kind of back away from the term, say he founded Chicago, but he was a fur trader from Peoria. And I'm finding out yesterday about how they gave him a bogus charge, later on locked him up. He got out, he went through financial stress, but this, in Chicago, people don't even know about him. So we August 28th, Friday, 2 o'clock p.m., y'all come, you know what I'm saying, we saying BYOB. Bring your own, bring BYO. I know some people gonna catch that wrong with that. BYOC, bring your own charcoal. Because in Chicago, it's a phenomenon. They throw ducks, it's a big old thing, throw ducks in the water. I forgot what it means, the significance of it. Then St. Patrick's Day, the Irish, they flood, they turn the whole water green. You know what I'm saying? This John Baptiste Point du Sable, we said turn the water black on August 28th. Turn the water, you know what I'm saying? Then we hit the next day, gonna be this 44th of St. Lawrence, the Black and Bronze event on 44th of St. Lawrence. And we hit Kenosha, Wisconsin for the Jacob Blake family reunion. Jacob Blake Jr., who was shot 13 times by Racine police. And you know what I'm saying? Jacob Blake, Justin Blake, who was the auntie of Breonna Taylor, Bianca and others, they're gonna be who've been tag teaming, who've been hitting the ground nonstop. We gonna get down there. Mobilize heading down that way. Then we back in Chicago on the 30th. And we also, FYI, we got some people that want to do their podcast on the morning. Is it the morning of the 28th? Morning of, I'm getting some dates confused. The morning of at the Hampton House. So a few people, we're gonna be over there too. That's Saturday morning, I believe. Yeah, I think it's Saturday morning. That's 29th. I forgot to mention the Pen Flow Poetry thing gonna be outside Friday night. That's Friday night. The Pen Flow, the poetry event they're convening. Then of course 30th, we're gonna be right there, Ground Zero, 2337 West Chairman Fred Hampton Way. Solidarity, you know, so we'll be there, show solidarity, you know, and then we headed to the wall, convene the events for the artists. We're gonna be again. We putting that Panther Club Peel and applesauce, y'all. You know what I'm saying? DC Young Fly, and maybe if you're not familiar with him, go check out the piece we did on 85 South. We got so many phenomenal people. K Love, you know what I'm saying? Go look at the piece she did about I don't say one piece. Go look the Revolutionary Wife. So many other pieces. Mike Lowry with the youngsters. I'm talking about, you know, Ballhead, the comedian. J. Ivy Torre. People, Side and Kia. Psychodrama, people, the people, and you know, people who have they've been coming through different years. Some have not seen for quite some while, But this is a time period, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times, under crisis, a lot of times this is, and the legacy is under intense attack. And I'm gonna say this too. I just commented the other day. I said, man, they don't know. Our people don't. They don't want us to pass down no generational wealth or nothing. No legacies. It's a constant. And I'm saying in this case, I'm learning so much. Is sometimes I'll be wanting to just say, hold on, stop. Just give me take a break in class for a minute, because it's so much coming out. You know what I'm saying? And Black Panther Party, state that information is raw material for new ideas. But again, sometimes even for the stern of us, that's because it's you don't want, and I think the time is important, because you got to get your um um I think it's important to have your basis together. Like as I said before, you know about the assassination chairman free. I think you should know about the program, how he lived. Because if you just come in and see some of this information, you're like, damn, you can engage in defeatism. Like, damn, ain't no sense of even struggling. Y'all forgive me if any questions been put up on the screen. I may have missed them, but I'm open now. We open now for any questions or comments, y'all. Sergeant Nam said that's cool. Yeah, we open for any questions or comments.
Black Power, I see you. Yes, sir, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother Clarence, I think I see your hand. You go ahead. You got the floor.
Yes, Black Power. Peace to y'all. First, I want to introduce myself. I'm Clarence Foster. I'm a college student at LSU. We're out here in Louisiana. I understood the name of the event was Everything is Political, something of that nature. But I want to ask the question, how much of it is actually economical, right? I'm a finance major at LSU, organizer of the Black Wall Street Club, where I teach financial literacy, right? And I wanted to understand how much of this fight is economical and what I can do, being a college student here at LSU.
Yeah. I heard it. Thank you for the question. Been hearing a lot of college students been hiding up there in LSU. I've been hearing about what they dragging the black baby doll around, right? There's a big thing going up there right now, right? The white students.
With the baby dolls, yes.
Yeah. Seeing
Yeah,
that.
that's going on.
And I came across something too from I think they had in the 20s. It was some common thing they was doing. And I say nothing new under the sun. They were doing similar to that. Everything is political, including economics. That ain't my strong point. However, we need. So the reality is we need resources. Cats got to eat and cats need heat. That's real talk. But in so many instances, people attempt to detach it, just say, let's talk about culture, let's talk about economics, and certain, what I'm saying. But the deal is, in perspective, recognizing who we are, and because there's so many the skills, and many people can forget the dynamic of who we are as a people. You know what I'm saying? And to that's what you say. Like you hear us use terms like aspiring capitalists or petty bourgeoisie as opposed to bourgeoisie and capitalists. Because the deal is, this system is, race. We're not racist. We're realists. This race is a top tool that's utilized at the tool shed of this system, and economic finance. In many cases, we need it, but also it can become like a buffer, like a pad. A pad for them blows that come at us. We in a time we see that even with the resources, you know what I'm saying? Whether people have been locked up and saying, well, you ain't got no bond, so I don't care how much resources you got. So we definitely need that. And we relate to this quote Minister U.E.P. Nunes said, take the bourgeoisie skills and make them work in the interests of the masses. Because in so many instances, it's reversed. It's like they refer to in Africa the brain drain, where they would come get our best talents, they would peep them out, and they'd take you and elevate you to say, okay, we need these talents, and send you up to some school and disconnect you from your community, from your community, your people. And these skills are used to help build an infrastructure of the system when it's oppressing us. So I want to struggle. We need the skills that you said you majored in what again? One more time, brother.
Finance.
We need those different types. We need those skills. So I'm humble to say that's not my strong point. But we again we need that. And it's so much actually. And I'm sure you study history, anything. I don't care if it's opera music, I don't care if it's financial literacy, whatever. I don't care. I was just showing some people yesterday about war tacticians, and the guy was talking about West Point. I said, it's known thing in that tactic in West Point called L formation. I said, they got that. They had that from Hannibal. You know what I'm saying? Hannibal of Carthage. So even if what I'm saying, we got a history. You know what I'm saying? Financial geniuses. So just have a frame. I just want to struggle. We want to struggle. Do we have a frame of reference? Because a lot of times we get a bastardized understanding or information, and it's given. It's given to us from that. You know what I'm saying? Through many thieves. Too many thieves. The thieves give it, and we think that's who brought it to us. And our allegiance sometimes we tell the allegiances go right to these individuals. The fact that the Japanese have a saying about karate. They say karate is actually an African art form. It was the Japanese had just preserved it. It was an African art form. They preserved it. So that opens a door for so many. I want to lay out this. I'm sure some forces here. We are pregnant with potential. Our people are pregnant with potential. But so we just can. I'm not saying go in and beat them over the head because I tell you say it's about our people. That wrong people was because people still subscribe to that white man ice cold and that black man ice. So I'm not saying go in and just say through the door, man. It's about about black people economic. Because one thing about our services and our programs, our information, in many cases, it's universal. It's universal. The Black Panther Party Free Breakfast Program. You can find images of white children eating now. You know what I'm saying? Sheikh Anta Diop talks about we come from a society we can work in, you know what I'm saying, we can work in concert with nature, the gender dynamic. We can figure out ways to get economics without, but this system, economics teaches it has to be at the expense. At the expense of our people. And you go through other communities, you say, damn, how they got this many beauty salons in a 2-block radiuses? You know what I'm saying? But with us, it got to be, only if you to make it, I don't care if it's a hustle on the street, you got to take out this person to do this. You can, they're talking about the comedic arena. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to make sure we have a different artists and poets. And they said, but they tell us, who it gotta be one comedy, one comedian. No, so you know what I'm saying. So we need a community. So again, still sharp and still men and women sharp, men and women, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm sure some force on here we can connect up with because Black Panther Party they had the Minister of Finance, Minister of Culture, Minister of Health. You know, in fact, my God, the Minister of Health, Minister of Education. These are different. These are different structure dynamics. These are different branches, if you will, that was not disconnected from the tree of recognizing who we are as a people. I hope I've been my response was
Right
adequate.
on, right on, right on.
Right on. Also, let me just say this too. I got a shirt for Justice for Lakeith Smith, young brother who's still locked up, Alabama. Check his information. Go on checkpoint. Always from the police and his mother Tina, phenomenal force. Alabama. This brother locked up on I think a felony murder where the police killed his buddy with him and they gave him the murder. Young brother, man. He's still on the strong. In fact, I talked to him. He said, y'all make sure you hold me Apple hat. I said, we got you though. But check out the case of Lakeith Smith. Who's locked up right now. We still saying free Lakeith Smith, free them all. I'm open for any other questions too, comrade. What is this?
Black Paul, I think we got Commander for the Motherland next.
Yes, sir. This gonna be
Black Power, yeah, to the brother. What you saying, Chairman?
I just want to say I just seen somebody put up understand digital assets and DeFi, decentralized finance. I just want to see even those different dynamics in this ever development, especially at one point, especially at the time with the brother of the finance, especially at the time when there's discussions happening about throughout the world, like about the BRICS economy. You know what I'm saying? With the different, you know what I'm saying? Where even there's a climate where people are even, you know what I'm saying, throughout Brazil, throughout parts of Africa, even that's political. Even challenging the U.S. dollar, that you know what I'm saying, that's political. So you know what I'm saying, again, everything's political. So to be on on this groundbreaking type of dynamic where the world even had the economy is being shifted. So it's not to look at it from the tunnel vision, from the eyes of the U.S. The people. I mean, we got access to technology stuff. That it's a big discussion what's going on with the BRICS and so on and so forth. So we can keep up what's going on or catch up what's going on. Excuse me. Okay, comrade. Command. I'm back with you.
Black Power, yeah. To the brother, I think that was Clarence, LSU.
Yes, sir.
Hey, if you feel comfortable, take and drop your number in the chat. Or if not, you can send it directly to me, and we definitely can chop it up. I'm in Louisiana as well. I'm in New Orleans, and I heard you say about the economic part. In order for the economic part to be what we need it to be, we gotta handle it from a political aspect. And the reason for that is because just like with this call even tonight, you know, everything is political. You know what I'm saying? Even with the situation. Matter of fact, pay attention to this. Notice how the situation at Penn State was being is being swept underneath the rug. But as soon as that sister up there, LSU, say she was gonna shoot up the what that was the
Stood up the student union. Somebody took a package. They blew it out of proportion.
my friend exactly. And notice how immediately when that came about, her face was all over the news before the story even broke. But see, when them Peckerwoods and when it happened at Penn State, you didn't even know what color they was. And when you did find out, notice how they was dressed in suits and ties.
Man.
But when things happen on our end, notice how they go way back to things when we was a child. They go back to our parents' lineage. You know what I'm saying? So, it's certain things that we need to, and I'm not saying, I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking you or nothing like that, because that's not it at all. I'm just connecting the dots and just showing you how, in order for us to even fathom the thought about the economic piece, we got to touch the political piece first. So that way, when we be politically educated, we can understand how the economics is supposed to go. Because again, even with that little narrative, what I just showed you, even with LSU, I'm gonna say even with the government as well, as a whole. Notice how they quick to give us, and when I say us, I mean us as a community. It's easy for us to get student loans, get a loan to buy a house, even get a loan to buy a car. But look how hard it is to get a small business loan. You know what I'm saying? That's not no coincidence how, they make sure that they can tie us to debt, but they're not gonna, tie us to, trying to economically bridge that gap to where we able to come out of our current situations, economically, if that makes sense. So, please, brother, drop. I see you 504. You are from New Orleans?
I'm from New Orleans, yes, sir.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna chop it up there, brother. Like as you are, champ.
You know. You seen that 504 all of a sudden, you say you're gonna make sure you connect with him now, Commander. Yes, indeed.
Can I add on to your point real quick? Can I add on to your point?
Commander, I think talking to you, Commander.
Oh, Black Power, absolutely.
Yeah, so even within the media, right? And it's we kind of spoke about this with a girl from LSU saying she was gonna shoot up the student union, right? I feel like they try to portray us a certain way, and it translates into the movie industry as well. Even when we look at movies like Judas and the Black Messiah, the Malcolm X autobiography, they always show us like, Chairman Frey he did this XYZ, Malcolm X he did XYZ, but in the end of the movie he was assassinated, right? So I always had a problem with that. Right, and it's kind of going into your point how they try to portray us, right? You can have power, but that power essentially always comes to an end because we would get one of our own to kill us, right?
Absolutely.
You see the pattern?
Most definitely, and I'm so glad you said Chairman Fred instead of just not using the chairman in the beginning before you mentioned his name. So Black Power, salute to you there. I even like I said, you from how old are you, brother?
20 years old.
20?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't. Well, you might you as a little young to remember. Comrade Mark Exits, and when he went on top of the highway with Johnson. You know what I'm saying? The same way how they came out, those pigs in Chicago came out, glorifying that they had assassinated Chairman Fred. That's the same way how they, made sure they took those explicit, exploited pictures of Comrade Mark Exits, showing that how they, riddled his body with bullets. Just to give you an example on, how, what you was explaining about Hollywood, even in the music, power conceives nothing without a demand. Black power, as you were, Chairman.
Right on, film on Black Power. If I can tag team also, let me this can man. I was mentioning earlier about the battle fatigue, and I every time there's even the people that's in charge of, like, sometimes people say, Chairman, you it's ain't soon like a struggle, like some dialogue, some conversation, the people, you get right back charged up, And I say, yeah, it's a hell of a battery. But I'm gonna recommend this for you, man. To come through the door with a clarity. Like if you come, it's different. Let's use a food analogy. It's different than coming into a situation. They say, man, this a po' boy from Popeyes or something. Your palate has kind of accustomed, but you're not even disappointed what you get. But to come through the door with a clarity, like people say, like, even that term, they say one of our. William O'Neal was never one of our. You know what I'm saying? And that's some like, and it's like I said, you look at the movie closely again. We made sure there's not one scene where Chairman, the character, and O'Neal's character were by themselves. That was a struggle that we had to lay out. There was never Chairman Fred's personal security, and contrary to the narrative that's trying to be put out. Because the deal, a lot of times we look at. Just look at your everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Look at them. They come take a picture at your classroom, and they're like, oh man, they was together. Look on social media. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that your friend on Facebook? Like, I don't know really. You know what I'm saying? This came from a can of paint. With certain, especially in struggle, there are certain forces that be aligned. But you go back and look, you say, man, wait a minute, this person. I mentioned the other day, I was locked up with a cat who said he grew up with O'Neal. He said, man, they knew his daddy won shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we really struggle to be recognized, because a lot of times you start looking like, man, this cat didn't stray too away from when they was a certain. I mean, of course, you can't you can't just pinpoint every dynamic, but really struggling that we start looking at like how we call certain things, even the class contradictions, so how we know. And I even look at this race thing, this race dynamic more scientifically. It's a case. They told Lacey Clayton or something like that, with the white lady where she strangled 3 of her children. Lacey Clayton. I know I'm saying the name wrong, but it's a big thing. Man, over $200,000 in they gave her GoFundMe. She going down, and you can see the sympathy with all, and it's really hiding the contradiction. Even a lot of the black women who going related as feminists, they have to reassess their position, because they see all these women, all white women in particular, having fundraisers and sympathizing. And sympathize with this white woman. Now, mind you, when a sister, they say she left her child in the car, man, it was no empathy. I mean, no sympathy, no empathy, no sympathy. But you're seeing that how the race dynamic even trumps the gender dynamic. So, and you say you have to ask a question like, I mean, is these people? What's a certain. What's the politics of a Karen? What's the politics of certain dynamic? And certain, they're looking at our communities to take into account. This is something that the ruling class don't want us even engage in during the era of chattel slavery. When they would take us from what plantation they would put us on, when they bred a person, what age, that's why, like, even Malcolm talks about, when he's in 6th grade, the teacher said to him, they know those developmental stages, and that's what, even certain the breakfast program was one of the geniuses programs the Black Panther Party had. What time of day it hit you? What age range it hit you? So a lot of times you look at people's experiences and lack of experiences, and that those are related to who you are. So if you look at the movie, you start to say, okay, hold on, man. A climate, who is this force, and betrayal, that's powerful. That comes with the whole territory, in any situation. And the deal is, in fact, the one who played William O'Neal in the movie, Lakeith Stanfield, that said to me one time, we was talking, he said, Chairman, I learned a lot doing this movie. He said, but there are more people, and this is a sad reality. He said, there are more William O'Neals, that's how he said it, and there are those who like Chairman Fredis. And I said, man, I hear you. And I say, But however, mind you, a lot of them is also trauma bonding. They're not. It's not no team. You know what I'm saying? We say quality outweighs quantity. Again, quality outweighs quantity. It's of course you're gonna be, man. That's a rarity, and we got to come to grips with that. 'Cause we on a plantation, and I mean, in the music industry, you push the bullshit, man. Hey, you got a good run, and that's a reality. The finance, man. When I was locked up in the concentration camp, all the rapists, they get all the drugs, all the man, and cats be trying. You talking to some cats? This case I'm dealing with right now. It's an entity that they bankrolled. They bankrolled. I'm talking about they grabbing people who coming up here who done came to events with Chairman Fred ain't never came to nothing we did. It ain't. Now if I had a politics, I'd be like, maybe they didn't know. No, I told her sister one time. She said, why you can't grab my son and do what you did with my brother and grab? I said, sister, all due respect, I can't compete with this dude with that Cherokee and that new Jeep and the jewelry he giving them, and that's a reality. That's a reality. You know what I'm saying? We on a plane. We coming from a deficit, and we got to come to grips with that. You know what I'm saying? And but also we gotta be able to come through the door and combat liberalism. Be real careful to turn one of ours. Who was it? Many cases people tell you what they is. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, look at just be honest with what Shakespeare say. To thyself be true. I'm looking at the resources that this entity, the one that's giving me the case, I'm looking who they backed by. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing the people who never said, who don't even say they was Black Panthers, the funding, all this type of stuff. The drain. I'm looking at myself and I'm going through. I've been going through court dates. People don't even know about. I was in court yesterday. I get calls in the morning. You got another court date, got to come here. This happening right now. Get phone calls, death threats. Now, I'm saying, this in the message. Now you go along, you shut up, you say, oh man, hey, I'm looking at the resource these individuals getting. Hey, dig. And sometimes I wish I didn't. Sometimes I'm gonna be honest, I wish I didn't know what I know. I wonder if it's ignorance is abyss. I wonder if ignorance is abyss. I wrote a poem about it, you know what I'm saying? But once your palate, you relate to certain dynamics, your value system is different. You know what I'm saying? What you see, your frame of reference, you know what I'm saying? How you view attention, all this is a different dynamic, but we gotta acknowledge that's a rarity. Pac was a different dynamic. He paid the price for it. It's a different dynamic. Nipsey Hussle, a different dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? The Puffball Combs, all these individuals, you know what I'm saying? Look at all the resources, look how much airplay was given, and all that. It wasn't because they're more talented, but this is a system that rewards that. It raises up. That's when Genghis Khan and the Mongolians, when he went through China, he hit a certain sort of person from the Chinese community. He raised up a certain individual, say, this is who you should desire to be like. And yeah, I done seen it. I done heard some of the stories of stuff, the resources they get. I done heard about it. You know what I'm saying? I've been in concentration camps. I've been in Stateville we locked down. We up on the gallery. Our mail don't come enough. We don't eat nothing. But I'm seeing the ones who engage in the rape, not the homosexuality, but the rape. The ones I'm seeing the big jewelry they get. You hearing about it. The open visits. I'm getting notices saying I can't get no visits. You seeing the repercussions, and other people and other prisoners see it. They said, man, Chairman, I hear what you saying. But man, they shake your cell down with you, man. They come at you. One of the main statements, it was a common saying they had in the 60s, one of the street organizations. This is a common saying. It said the police come for us and take you to jail. They come for the Panthers, they'll kill you. But then, to be armed with a politic that distinguishes stealing from liberating. In fact, it was a post put up of a brother named Jabbar something. You know, he was on a school bus. They say he took the school bus 60 miles after Hurricane America. We call it Hurricane America, not Hurricane Katrina. He had a bus full of people, and he took the bus at New Orleans. And I put up a comment on that, I said, he ain't steal shit. He liberated that. He liberated freedom of stolen resources. Once you get that politics, and sometimes I know it. I said, damn. You be able to distinguish rioting from rebelling. You distinguish living from existing. You know what I'm saying? And once you grasp that, it's a different. Sometimes I look at you look at it. You know, man, the heat comes with it. It's lonely. I repeat, it's lonely. I repeat, it's lonely. I don't care how many videos they show you Pac. Pac was lonely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To be on with this here, it ain't man. And not to put us, not to put this, but just even to know the contradiction, to know why. It's a movie I can't even watch right now. It's called Graham or something like that. Everybody else see these people, they look beautiful. But Graham shows you if you know certain, you see the ugliness in certain. I'm gonna bet my soul with y'all. On December 3rd, 2025, mercenaries were sent at me. I'm gonna heard some of the details from some of the mercenaries. The plans for me not to even, they was not scheduled for me to walk away from that 2337 West Chairman for Hampton Way that day. To hear this, and you're a mercenary, and you come and when you're fed the false narrative that everyone's going to fight for a country because they love the country. Everyone fight for play. You grew up, you thinking these basketball teams, these guys play for the Chicago Bulls because they like Chicago. You start finding the different dynamics. You start knowing the politics of basketball. You understand that when they grab these NBA, these players, and they take them in college, how they put a lot of them in these rooms, and they show them movies, showing black women in a bad light. Then all of a sudden, the white woman is right there for them. It's like the silverback gorillas, and when the poacher come through and kill the mamas and the daddies, and then all of us, that baby gorillas out there, and they open their eyes that they seen that horrifying, their parents, their mother and father getting killed, and next thing you know, it's a white hand with some powdered milk in their mouth. They'll say, "What do you think in Haiti? They send all these saviors." I ain't gonna be hypothetical with you. Check this out. I remember the Dave Chappelle Block Party. And I remember speaking, I remember watching different politics from different individuals. I'm checking it out. Ironically, I just seen a clip on Instagram the other day. Check it out. Where Wyclef talks about when he was a child in Haiti. He said he was in Haiti. He say he remember a Jeep pulling up with this white man with long stringy hair. And people were starving, nothing. And he said the white man got out the Jeep with 2 bags of rice. And he asked his grandmother, "Who is that?" And he said, grandmother told him, "That's Jesus." And he said, when he got out the rice, and he remembered the people giving the rice, but he said even in his mind as a child, he was wondering, why won't he just set up somewhere they can feed, they can grow their own for the future, you know? And then the interviewer said, "Why would you think like that as a child?" He said, when you're hungry, when you're in poverty, you look at goats different. You look at chickens different. You say, "Can that chicken produce eggs?" You look at it different. But the impact that it had with him, he said even when they was going to the airport, his brother seen these white people coming. And he said his brother was crying. He said, "Why are you crying?" He said he told his brother, "Those are Jesus' cousins." He said when they got in the plane flying to America, he saw the lights. He thought it was like in America. He had heard about America. Like there was diamonds in the ground. Go back and study go look at, again, everything's political. Ricky Ricardo, the Lucille Ball show. Go look at Ricky Ricardo, who played Desi Arnaz's father, his political history. Look at what was the bait to have people trying to go through Guatemala, through the tunnels. Because the dream was sold to them by Ricky Ricardo, Lucille Ball is great, America is great. The propaganda. But go back and look at how long the incubators of imperialism. The baby cribs of capitalism. And a lot of times you humble yourself. A lot of times you get mad at certain people. I was trouble with some cats the other day. They told me they doing some criticism on certain organizations, certain leadership. I said, "Hey, hold on, y'all talking like these organizations? They got these individuals just come in, these soldiers and people joining. Like they had something they just can change and make who they work with, as opposed, especially a colonized community, can work with you to work with. In fact, I like this what my brother said about. The guy said chess is like life. He said, oh. He said, whoa, slow down with that one. He said, what do you mean? He said, chess, you can move your pieces. You can move the pieces in chess. With soldiers and people, I tell people, you're just not dealing with the individuals. You are dealing with their loved ones, their families, their relationships, their grandparents, their baggage, their grandmothers, their mistresses, all of that. I told the guy one day he tried to bring me some dogs to me. I said, hey man, hold on. I'm not too keen on them grown dogs. He said, man, this is a great dog, Cane Corso. I said, I don't know. I'm cool on that, man. He said, why? He said, I'm giving you this dog. I said, check this out, bro. I don't know what damage. I say, someone with red pants may have beat this dog before. In fact, when this guy named Rand, I'm telling you, one time this guy gave me this one Cane Corso years back. And not to correlate our people to the animals, but just hear me out. And I kept saying, I say, man, dig, man, it's something. I say, listen, it's something with this dog has been damaged. And the guy said, man, Chairman, I said, I'm not tripping. I'm telling you, man. I said, notice how the dog around humans. I said, man, I said, man, notice. I say, I'm a realist. When I come in situations, people take it personally. I'm just coming in, let's acknowledge it. I'm like a boxing trainer. And I know if you got a week left, I'm not going to put you in an arena where the world will never know it. And I was struggling with it, but I said, listen, man, I'm just telling you, be careful. When I said, Ali, I said, that dog gonna run from humans. I said, I'm telling you. Oh, man, I said, man, it's no attack on the dog. I said, I'm sympathize. I'm telling you. Dude kept on debating with me. Years later, he's come, he said, man, that dog had ran away. He said, but Chairman, he said, that dog, you know where I get the dog from? I said, well, he said, that dog came from a police who was beating his wife's ass, beating his kids, and beating that dog. I said, oh, you don't say. You don't say. I say, in this system, they got a machine. Not only they see it, they breed it. They breed it. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, we take the baggage personally. Man, I'm impacted. You know what I'm saying? I had to check, like even with the amount of agent provocateurs they sending me, the amount of betrayal, that I because I gotta back up sometimes. I say, man, because it impacts the organ, how you view situations. None of us come out of this clean. But I'm fortunate to like a certain formative years. I've seen men, I've seen women, black men, black women. Some kids ain't never seen no black hustlers. I just see you. So they see these dynamics. They looking like they see when they see some people. I heard people set their mouth. Donald Trump was the first man they ever seen. I done heard out their mouth say it. Yeah. And some people, you listen to them clearly, they talk, when they see the white, that's like Jesus coming to them. A lot of people just say, man, when they raise people up, the spokesperson, you think the ruling class ain't get their psychological profile? It's like that disdain for black men, disdain for black women, or never even coming in contact. And you may say, oh, that's crazy. I can't see nobody not coming to. Oh, no, it happens. It happens. That's why certain dynamics are so. We want to set some templates, some examples. So man, I remember that. I remember seeing Garvey on the shirt as a child. I remember conversations. You know, I remember it's certain. James Amos, who played James Evans in Good Times, his grandparents' house was a layover for the Garveyites. Go back and look at this documentary on General Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Look at the lady who was in her 80s. Look at her describe her father. Watch her body language. Watch what she describes when her father came home from work. Watch her shoulders, how they slump down. Watch her as she starts to describe when he would take off his work uniform and he would put on his UNIA uniform, Universal Negro Improvement Association. Watch how when she describes how he would tell her, rub your hands across those stocks. The same stocks that they locked him up to some mail fraud. The first Negro FBI informant, J. Edgar Hoover, was a district attorney, sent in and infiltrated UNIA. Watch the impact on this lady's life at 80-some years old, who was a child. Watch when she say her father would take her to the march. Watch her shoulders when she say they would get on the trolley. And when he threw the UNIA uniform on, they were going down to the march. The impact on her at 80-some years old and how it transcends the generations and generations. We want, on every artist, every vendor to understand this here, this ain't your usual thing here. This is something that people can have, something they can put their chest out about. Who they may got to go to the 9 to 5 plantation the following day. But it's, in the words of the brother in the Panther Party in LA who said, when he said, man, for one of a few minutes, I was a free nigga. Something they can leave with that everybody can benefit from. Not a personal, this is my thing. No, we have very few examples. Like I said, go watch the mafioso movies. And it's a cleansing process for them. They say, man, what did you do? They say, man, hey, man, I performed at the Chairman Fred Street Party. They say that. Look at even when we talk about different dynamics of education and training. I ain't cutting no trees before. Look at man, I'm down there. I'm got a tree degree. Hands on. Down there with another brother. Hit the motherfucking, get the check. Wasn't no bureaucratic red tape. That sister walked up with that sister walked up there with a confidence. When she walked up on me, she said, hey, my address is 37 Wu out the back. I didn't even know who the sister was. Her friend said, he ain't such, her friend was trying to confuse, like, man, why would you tell him that? She said, oh, it's gonna happen. We say, man, that's that club confidence, that community confidence. To say, if nothing else, man, I can put my head up on this, we ain't free. And I ain't gonna jab. Sometimes I wonder. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wonder. I say, damn. I go do battle for T. I say, damn, man. This shit. Some people say this. We destined for this. I say, damn, this shit. I said, well, I gotta hold on to the fact that even if we don't change this system, I want to make sure don't change me, don't change us. But in the meantime, between time, some struggle soap. Struggle soap is something that ministry people say when a slave overthrows, when a slave knocks up a slave master, and the oppressor's gone, a new man, we're gonna say new man, new woman, is born. It's a struggle, it's a cleansing process. To remind you of something. To say, man, you know what I'm saying, to keep your head up. Even when they're held captive. When I talked to Carmelo Anthony's father at that day, that courtroom, when he told me his son Carmelo had just mentioned Chairman Fred the night before, I said, man, you got my eyes from the water up. When I was in Cook County Jail, and his little brother told me he was talking about committing suicide, because he had 3 fights, he couldn't do it no more, and he looked at my wrist and seen that name on my wrist, he said, wait a minute, that's who you is? And I don't have I'm not confused, believe it's something about me. Man, these are certain examples that we have, and we got to utilize it. And I'm not saying these are people that you need for that, man, that charge, that battery charge. I need, believe, I'm telling you, hey man, I've been telling you, battle fatigue is a real deal. I go back, when I was locked up, man, Field Marshal George Jackson, Solidarity Brothers struggle, that charge up. Cause man, believe me, go through it. Free them all. And I don't know, I'm looking on time.
Right on. We got time, Chairman. We got 2 more people right now with hands. Brother Shaka, the floor is yours, brother.
Black Power Chairman. I'm sorry, Black Power Chairman. It's really good to be in
Black Power right back at you.
And to be able to hear you speak. Thank you so much for blessing us. Just got a small question for all the young and up and coming revolutionaries, as well as anybody who is new to, perhaps their own political awakening in this space of being pro-Black or going from in the Matrix to out the Matrix. What do you recommend as far as media for people to read or watch or intake?
Media, again, recognize some of the discussion thank you for your question too, brother. We discussed about finance, these different, again, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, and this is a unit time period, right now where you don't have to get caught up in a lot of the ruling classes, bureaucratic red tape that run around. In other words, you'll see in the ruling class media, they'll throw a quote, a post from social media. You know what I'm saying? They'll say, you're in a time period when the masses with stuff is, and there's pros and cons to that too. everybody now, regular Joe Blow, regular Bozo can just put up something. Oh yeah, it's official. But however, some of the good aspects of it is that all these arenas, whether we have historically had financial geniuses, media geniuses, all these different fields, but they're stoppers with these different degrees, all that. Like I said, that's why that example I gave in Gary about the tree cutting. Under intense conditions, you get to see the skills of the people. Like I was telling the brother right now, I said, man, seize the time right now. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I get upset when I talk to people. They go, "Well, did you do this? Did you do that?" Under those intense conditions, hey, report it. I mean, you got example. You got arenas and situations where right there, how don't spot Gary run that right there. Places where the ruling class they not finna. You know what I'm saying? That's when you go back and look at when the heat is on. That's when you see more. I don't want to say, well, that's when they at war, that's get them black soldiers over there to fight. When they, you know what I'm saying? When the situation like this, we need to cover that. We need to get some black reporters. It's people when the rebellions happening, so on and so forth. It's so many conditions happening right now. Don't get caught up with their bureaucratic red tape. Well, I didn't go this here. We turn the classroom, we turn the communities into classrooms, turn the courtrooms into classrooms. It's certain arenas, you have a history with the people right now from the ground up. The stuff is happening right now in real time. Utilize that. Don't get, when they come, well, did you get this degree from Bozo University? No, man, this such come with a confidence. This such coming to you live and blah, and even you know what I'm saying? And up the ante. Don't know your niche, know our niche. Know our niche. Like I tell you, when I'm speaking, I tell you, I'm organized. Our niche is, I don't have the finance the ruling class has. We don't have that. I tell people, what's our niche? The politics, the relationship with the people. You know what I'm saying? It's people going to Gary who I can't even compete with. Now, I don't care how many times we put out, they donate to us, so we need people to help donate to the Black Panther Club. We need resources going on. They can't hear it because in mind, they're going to do something more safer. But in the mean, what's our niche? Our niche is how we relate to the people. So get your niche. Again, Shakespeare says, "To thyself be true." The media thing, man, get your headphone. Go with a confidence. Hey, we reporting blah blah blah. This is happening right now as we speak. Cut it and run it. This seize the time. Cause see, the more intense the conditions get, the more the layers of the layers got to come off. You can't afford this facade, this nicety situation. You call asking the question degrees. You can't sell that snake oil at certain periods of time. Even within Kansas say they're artists. They're doing, man, states too high to be going there talking you rapping how many bands you got. Man, get it. Talk about they got them different. They calling the question on people that how y'all from Gary, Indiana ain't saying about this here. Make a song what's happening down there. Report what's going on down there. I mean, I don't know where you at in the country or the world for that matter. Because again, you got access to certain tools. You can report, you know what I'm saying? If you can't be that directly, utilize that. That's what I'm saying. Again, as Minister Huey P. Newton say, take the bourgeoisie skills, make it work in the interests of the masses. And you look historically, when there's been certain developments, it's under crisis, when certain things, you know what I'm saying, are phenomenal. Like I said, we hit New Orleans, Hurricane America, and you know what I'm saying, the free breakfast program, they come back and study out and try to co-op our shit, but they ain't got but I'm gonna say this to you too. Make sure you tie into politics. And the politics, I'm talking about the words and terms, what it is, the uniqueness. I said, like I told you, we did a school other day. I said, this ain't no book bag giveaway. We got to make sure our flyers, everything ties into a historical dynamic. When they get, you know what I'm saying, we doing these self-defense classes at the same place where this sister was found burnt and murdered in the garbage can. Tied into the basic needs and desires of the people. And that's something that you got to put your ear to the ground and study. The way you report, all that. You know what I'm saying? Go back and look at that. They got some, in Palestine, they got some different young cats coming out now, popping up, being reporters, you know what I'm saying? 8, 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I know they ain't got no degrees in nothing. Free them all.
Like power, free them all. Brother Stan, or Comrade Stan, you got the floor.
Right on. All power to the people, freedom all.
All power people come right, free them all.
I just wanted to add to the December, right on power people, to the December 3rd situation, comrade, and highlight the fact that many of the individuals that are a part of that cadre of reactionary jacknate fools. A lot of them left the party with O'Neal. Bobby Rush continued a relationship with O'Neal. I was on his security detail even after it was known that O'Neal was an informant. Okay. So, I mean, I'm crystal clear, but the masses need to know this, that this is all a part of a big, sinister, diabolical plot of hijacking that legacy, and it's been going on for probably about 20 years plus. And there's a lot of individuals that claim to be Panthers that are part of this whole sinister plot. So the December 3rd situation should be tied into that, because a lot of these folks that are rolling with that whole history mystery project, a lot of those party members, if you want to call them that, they left the organization with O'Neal and continued their relationship. So, and these are facts. So this ain't no, this ain't no hypothetical conspiracy theory. This was facts that those individuals that are part of this group of individuals that are coming at you, Chairman, they left the organization with O'Neal. So I just wanted to make that clear.
I'm gonna say, even I mentioned earlier, this is this court. I was in court yesterday. I want even it's something to watch this dynamic. This the dynamic. Even the Tupac case, I look at it, and people have struggled with me. Say, man, Chairman, just even. Man, why you just call? You haven't said nothing. You've been held. You know what I'm saying? People have slandered your family. You have held your tongue. So you've been very objective. And my response has been more like, cause I know I study our people. I study the people. And in this battle, in this fight, Tyson can come in and get down with it, and I respect Mike Tyson. But I have this process of how I move, and we need the people. Because many people speak even when I don't, and I appreciate that, because even December 3rd, I even went out to this location. I intentionally had no one covered. I called for no one to cover me. I walked there with a white reporter. I'm flashbacking on this as we speak. Other people more concerned about me than, and I appreciate that though. That had it not been coming down on me, I don't know how this would have turned out. And I've been hearing different, how it's supposed to turn out. But I seek information so much, and I will even take like certain hits to see what how far you go, and sometimes you gotta be careful, because, and that's why it's like a climate where the people can protect and call certain things, because I seek to learn certain. I study myself. I learned a lot about myself when I was locked up. I say one of the best cellmates I had was Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. I'm watching what extent it's been mind blowing, and I remember walking up on the scene December 3rd. I remember walking up with a white, and I intentionally walked with this white reporter. And when the attack when the attack was on me, and defended myself. However, I would, of course, and it's coming out more and more how many people was engaged, how many mercenaries came at me in their skill, and had not been for the people, comrades. I don't know how it would have turned. I don't know, but I correlated to Muhammad Ali in the boxing ring, and a lot of people, I say, that exposed not only was Sonny listening about it was they called it Lidocaine, I think it was the term, the poison on Ali's glove, excuse me, on Sonny listening, but not just Sonny listening, the mafia control who was backing this, and it puts so much stuff in context. It puts so much stuff in context, and I look at, I say, I know another new under the sun. I say, like, even the Pac case, people are saying, because I remember people laughing. What you mean, this Pac assassinated? You know, and even now in the ruling class, you see the different dynamics. People are asking logical questions. Wait a minute, how was this individual Keefe D? How you can sell the Santa Claus theory till you get to a certain age, like this white dude riding around with some reindeers. You say, wait a minute, I just dropping off these toys. You can sell this narrative so far about this dude, this mastermind, you know, Oswald and Kennedy, but to bring it, to a point or a climate to look at, and then also is needed a necessary agreement how we view ourselves. See, if you're taught to, you're nothing. You can't even see that you're not even worth nobody a satin. You're not even in the same arena. You listen to people. People actually say it. They go in Russia and do blah blah. The whole thing, like the black people, it's ironic because you're talking about the targets of who crack cocaine. They acknowledged it was the more melanin in your skin, the more easily addictive you were to become. Who to sit in a science lab and to say to create something, the darker you are, the more easily, and for us to be saying, well, you know, such as gets strong on crack, well, he's just weak or he's a Capricorn. No, something. What is put into this? What's to this? Why would they say? Imagine. Let's go. Let's supersede the race. Just say you say, man, what's her name? Lisa Marie Presley. She can't go to Graceland. If you heard that, what you mean she can't go be in Graceland? Dr. King's children, they're not allowed at Lorraine Motel. Malcolm X's children, they're not allowed to come to the Audubon Theater. Just even to say, wait, what's to this? What's to this? Why would what's the skilled individual to come at him? You know what I'm saying? What's to this? And like I say, sometimes I want to call for a breaking class. I want to say, let me get a hall pass for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But then once it's rolling, again, I've been quiet in class. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm known, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not stroking my ego, but for objectivity. In fact, I was told that Chairman Fred was sitting in the room sometime and you wouldn't think he's hearing everyone. But he had all perspectives. All perspectives. And some things are inspirational, like even this podcast at time, and I say, wow. And I say, man, I think how Pac said the things that hurt him, one thing that hurt him in particular was even when they gave him the case, all his resume, he said, I done did Dear Mama, Brenda's got a baby, and the slander to come at him, and you seeing certain just basic facts, you seeing the same exact police right there when Pac got shot was the same one right there when he got the case in New York. And you're seeing these different, but then what gives you, I guess, you look at it. I listen to people. I watch people watching the case, the Pac case, and like even right there, I'm watching some of the footage, and you like, as soon as it comes in with black people, it's a negating of any political automatically gang shooting. I say, man, if I tell people all the time, if you said this many dogs were murdered in Chicago, it's breaking news. You say, man, the dogs. You say, wait a minute, you just can't tell me there's some dog on dog crime. You mean the people who run the kennels got to be in on this? There got to be some incentive going on. With saying for $20 to be shot in one day. Some dynamic. You say, wait a minute, why crack cocaine? It's hitting a certain portion of the people. They're just hitting pit bulls, not poodles. You say, wait a minute, it's like they talk about even Bob Marley. They say the type of cancer they say he had. They say it was though his father was white, it was something that was not the only a particular people would even have. It was not known for the black community. And you start saying, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? And you can duck and dodge, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But this, one of the things that this system is the facade that allows Hillary Clinton at the time was, before she was Secretary of State, to be inside Robben Island with her daughter looking out the prisons and occupy Tanzania and say, this is a shame that they had reference to Nelson Mandela to be locked up this long. And at the same time, the Dr. Mutulu Shakur, who's no longer here physically, the Geronimo Jajaga, who's no longer here, but Sekou Odinga, who's no longer physically here, but the Mumia Abu Jamals, who's still here, who they try to take out now, you know what I'm saying? H.R. Brown, you know what I mean? Sada Shakur, you know, who's no longer physically here, were here, but without even question, you say, wow. You know what I'm saying? And to talk about, you know, it dismisses that assassinations even occur here. So even a bit of it, this is again, not just that you for ego tripping to put in context, the study the history of like, what was, look at the Chicago 7 case different. Like, what was the target? You know what I'm saying? Why is it no mention, and why is little mention about Chem Bobby Seale was chained and gagged? What's the problem? What's the threat of showing black people, I mean, from just on their own terms, as Malcolm X said, even our mistakes belong to us. What is the crime of self-determination? What is the crime of self-defense? To say, this is the case of Carmelo Anthony. To say, this, all practical, even physically speaking, this alone, the two boys, the twins, can't remember the last names right now. But even physically speaking, say, man, because usually, you know, saying the damsel in distress, let's not add in their history. They say, man, dude, with the cheerleaders and dislocated his father's shoulder, his mama. These jokers weren't playing no games. They say, had he not, this Carmelo Anthony could very, very easily have been tied into the conversation of Nolan Wells very easily. Very easily. And what is that statement to say, man, I don't care what you facing. When he go to text saying, they telling him, kill all niggas. Saying it. Well, you know, dude, this ain't his first rodeo. This how he get out. Man, he done, man, on his daddy, so less known with playing for Carmelo Anthony. And say, man, what is the problem with that? Man, what's to this? What statement is being sent? You know? And sometimes, even we put ourselves out there, we take the hits to say, man, for the greater good. This, you know what I'm saying? So, and again, to look at and put, you know what I'm saying, study, put stuff in historical context and political context. Because again, nothing new under the sun. Sometimes you watch Ali fights, and you be like, man, why he just don't go and get out? And you see it and say, look what Foreman. Look what he would do to him if he given opportunity. Look at the way he would come to brutal, and then go look at his psyche. You know what I'm saying? Look how he enjoyed, and then look how he holds the American flag about the time he's from John Carlos and the '68 Olympics. You know what I'm saying? When they stood up and they had to get sent home. Look who he's. I tell you, look who he's training. Maybe look at the politics. Go look at how Ali even viewed fighting. Look how Ali said he didn't like, how he hated, like, he didn't like, look how he would, the mercy, the empathy, how he would back him up a certain while. Look at that. Study that. Look at even how I've dealt with the slander on my mother, on my family, on our people. How I got blood in my mouth. Go study the slander. Go study individuals putting my grandmother's will on social media. Study that. And study, people say, man, Chairman, you ain't, man, and I want some, as I say, I don't want to even become them. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes at the expense of blows, but the deal is, I know they win also. It's the way I engage. We hide in the country. Look at Pac. Look at Pac, to steal the love for our people, to steal after the slander. Look at the steal. Look at they had the brother Idi Amin testifying yesterday. He say while Pac is laying there shot when he walk up to in Vegas, when he walk up, Pac tells him, "Hey, move out the way." Pac shot now, wounded. He don't see man on his last man, potential last breath. Still telling him, move, man, for they're gonna shoot, they're gonna shoot you. He turn around, the police got a shotgun to his head. Still looking out for us. And it's not no say like no goody two, you know what I'm saying? It's I say even to defend ourselves with no, as one brother said when there was some slander put out on me about it was a play about Chairman Fred, and there was some. They try to sell a slander, state, oh, he's a bully, black, and it's a narrative that you probably can run. A lot of times the state, you don't need. He's big and black, right? Oh, that's all you need. That's a black man. That's all you need. That's all you need. But even people who have had contradictions with me say, oh, he's never the aggressor. The Black Panther Party, the narrative tried to run and say, oh, no. Then, and I remember in the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, I said, whoa, wait a minute. Let's be very clear. The police, who shot first? See, even in battle, and rightfully, be honest with you, I tell people, we think all black people should, I think they should call a convening of all black people throughout the world. And we should all get the Nobel Peace Prize, not negating the resources, because some resources come with that too, though. Not negating the resources too should come with that. We should all be allocated the Nobel Peace Prize for the fact that we have not just en masse snapped out. The compassion that we still have, but you can look at the dynamics of those who are state trained and state made, the viciousness. I watch this, and sometimes I'm not proud of the still how we move and don't move. And sometimes, and the deal is, and I'm gonna say this too, it may be one of our, in some arenas, of fault, the deficiency, because we can't even fathom doing some of the moves. The stuff that has been said about the Panther Party, the slander, but our family, comrades, myself, I couldn't even fathom. And I wouldn't, and some of these things, like so, you look at us and you put stuff in context, and when you talk about Reverend Nat Turner, don't start the narrative right there. Look at even that movie, Nate Parker, 1831, Birth of a Nation, Reverend Nat Turner. Look at that piece. There was that depicted the character of Reverend Nat Turner. To see our sisters being raped, I'm talking. To see that, to hear about the taking in the room and remember when they beating you and you look it up and tell people to hold fast. I'm telling people to hold on. Oh man, I'm walking up to a place where Chairman Fred was assassinated. And the images, I'm being attacked. Vamped on. Then I receive, I'm getting charged. And somebody said, man, don't say nothing. One guy called up there, he said, man, I feel so bad. And I asked him, he said, you didn't say nothing. You say all the stuff. He said, I was going along with the thing, a narrative about you. I said, have you ate breakfast this morning, brother? He said, no. I said, eat your words. Eat your words. Just eat your words. And not that it's a piece when Chairman Fred was speaking, he's raising criticism on, SDS and other white left, and they was talking later on. And this after he was attacked. The white left him going down from the court building, the federal building, pissing in water balloons and doing all type. And Chairman Fred said, "This is these people are talking about engaging in some coastal racist reactionary activities. You know what I'm saying? That's going to bring down havoc on the black community. All type of criticism, or you're a counter-revolutionary, all type of slander on Chairman Fred." So when it came out, these contradictions were exposed about some of these same forces. All he had to do was just, I ain't gonna say cut their hair, tie it up in a tie, throw a suit on, corporate America, tell their mothers and daddies, I know I was going through a phase, I was going through puberty, we good now. They was talking to Chairman Fred, they were in an interview. Chairman Frey pull the cigarette out, and I know that y'all gonna focus on that. Oh, you smoking a cigarette? Yeah, hit the cigarette out. He said, not to be egotistical. He said, I told you so. I told you so. And that's not what we're fighting. But the deal is, some of these things we're talking about, like I said, it gives me some to see this dynamic of what Pac talked, the stuff that Pac said, to hear the discussions coming. If nothing else, you're hearing at minimum, it's acknowledged law enforcement. That's, man, at minimum, that's a step up from this insulting assessment of some sort of gang shooting with Pac. And people should eat their words. When you have a force that was monitored and targeted as a child, when you have a force that's a child of two Black Panthers, even when he didn't know it, they knew it. They knew it. They knew it. To devalue that. To devalue what is happening, that's like saying the slave trade was a boat ride gone bad. As opposed to a concerted effort to go through which tribe, who to pay off, how to break them, how to exploit contradictions, a concerted effort. Oh, we ain't worth that, man. The boat just came, they was saying we had some issues. Yeah, we all do stuff mess up. No. As opposed to a concerted target. See, other communities I allotted that. The word genocide came out when what happened when Hitler committed the quote-unquote the crime with getting down on white folks. Now, when Hitler and Mussolini and the rest of them, they getting down on Africans in North Africa, it was a nice word, a euphemism, the Africa Corps. We're deprived of it even acknowledged. While I was being attacked, I was saying these are mercenaries. And I knew a lot of cats can't grasp it. And a lot of people tell me, Chairman, you be saying stuff they told me, Chairman, you saying stuff people really can't grasp. I can't dumb it down for you. Pac said certain things in his music that cats couldn't grasp. And it's lonely. Minister Huey P. Newton, Chairman Bobby Seale talked about when he had the forces go back and watch Sweetback's Badass Son, when he gave a political analysis from the naked eye, all just some movies, some naked women and blah, the analysis. When he took The Godfather, this is a gangster movie, to sum it up politically, break it down. Now again, not saying, I told a brother out there, I said, you know what, man? I knew a lot of y'all grew up in a place in the city where the world is seen through Democrat and Republican. I don't subscribe to neither. And when the guy came to interview me for the OGs at first, he came, not Mr. Rick, the director, he had his whole thing, his mindset was these different. I said, well, I don't fit into neither of those categories. Well, man, I ain't never seen it. I sympathize with you. I sympathize for you. I sympathize for you. But this, I can't, you know what I'm saying? One young child at school told me when I was speaking, she said, hey, I heard about you. You're a gangster. I said, no. I am a revolutionary. We can do some gangster shit, but I am a revolutionary. And people say, well, they don't know what that is. The Black Panther Party, what it means, who Chairman Fred was. It's certain dynamics, you know what I'm saying? You people should just slow it down. You can't say, okay, just because you never know what the coronavirus is, you know what, it's just a common cold. And people do that in their own subjective world, subjective bubble, but it's sometimes that airborne disease got to come in contact with the real world. I tell people that when they spoil children. How you view race, how you view all these different dynamics, it's a real world. And we're seeing the real world. And you got many people, it's going to be forced on them. In certain locations, you can subscribe to just certain race nationalism. Black and white. That suffices. Then there's certain time periods where the ante has to be up. Neo-colonial, political, everything. In that courtroom in Dallas, Texas, when the sheriff came in, how he walked in, they get a retired judge. This is political. Listen to the term they use between the first attorney and the district attorney. A gentleman's agreement. This is a gentleman's agreement. When they talk with Carmelo Anthony in layman's terms said, man, they gonna say I violated this, whatever. He knows then. I don't, gentlemen, it's a cold word for white folks determine the destiny of my life. It sounds nice. They made not to bring out none of the Metcalf's history. This is and you hear the word, gentleman's agreement. Not to bring out none of it, to make not even using the word deal. And you talking, and men there tap there, then you have somebody come in, oh, that's sexist, blah. No, that male and female, that suffices in certain arenas. These are decisions that, see, white women was voting before they was voting. Yeah. They had influence, yeah. See, it's a book called White Woman Slave Owners, you know what I'm saying? And at certain stages in the game, the ante get upped. When you gotta check your emotions about whatever difference you have with some male, when you go, you see it right now. Look at the case of Lacey, Casey, whatever. They said she strangled 3 of her children. 3. They down there packed in pink so deep it's ridiculous. $200,000. Sympathizing, posters. Now we're having discussions about depression. It's clinical analysis you ain't never heard of for black people. 3 of the children. Hell of a time. Forward to the Chairman Fred Streets party. We even spell it street. We spell it with a Z. And there's a politic to it. Yeah. Something that come from the ground up. So when you get to the point of being a big phenomenon all over, you can trace it back. Because everything we do, believe me, they come for it. Speaking of business, it's a saying they got in the business world. Whenever black folks rub 2 nickels together and make a dime, white folks gonna make it a crime. J&J Fish was something that it was known that all the brothers were doing business on. They came with so much, they said, oh, they gotta be drug dealers. Next thing you know, you don't see no black people on it. Anything we do. Man, I think they say they got chitlins in some big restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And they got this whole word. I said, damn, dude, chitlins. Yeah. So they coming for it. You believe that? They coming for the legacy of the Black Panther Party. They coming hard. They gonna come. Most people don't even have a definition. Don't even know what the word who black people is no more. I be saying, let's know the Black Panther Party have no with all this vagueness. Oh yeah, it's really in your mind what you think. I dig that. It's so messed up now. It ain't even clear on that. And these be some of the most. When you people going overboard the race question, black, them complexes. You see, complexes. It's like guys be talking about how many women they get down with you. A lot of times it be covered, it be complexes. Yeah. Go overboard with it. You're like, who you trying to convince? You? Yeah. So people, I'm black, blah, blah. Yeah. You start telling people like, these cats ain't got no black experiences. None. And the system sees it. They elevate them. Dress them up. That's your spokesman for the black people. That's your spokesman for the black men. And they know it. Gaslight them. We can turn it on whenever. Other white people be like, man, hold on, man. That's a threat. They ain't trip. When you walk in somebody's house, you see a tigers walking around, dialectical materialism. This motherfucker can't be a problem. I think we're going to close out. Any questions before we close out?
Commander, are we going to take these 2 questions before we close out? How you feeling?
Like, oh, yeah, he can take them too.
Right on, Brother EJ. You got the floor, and Commander A after you.
My question is, how many people today got a permission to use Black Panther Party today?
One more time.
That's my question.
One more time.
How many people today have permission to use the name Black Panther Party of self-defense? Because a lot of people popping up saying they Black Panthers and everything like that. how many people got permission to do it?
Hmm.
Because there's nothing but one Black Panther Party. So who are these people walking around calling themselves Black Panthers?
The Black Panther Party, self-defense, which was started October 15, 1966, again, the people was the best protectors, the best security for that organization. We humble with the Black Panther Party Cubs, we humble ourselves to that legacy. But it's something, I see when I was held captive one time, I had got vamped on for it was a case. We came outside in the prison yard and we refused to go back. Something refused to let us get entry to the chow hall, and some arena. And they came back and they locked me up. And I was already locked up, but they put me in isolation, gave me another charge. And when the people started putting together the brothers, saying legally, technically, it was bogus. I mean, it was bogus. It was like it made no sense. But what kept me alive was the petitions from the drive and they said they had never seen the different organizations come together like that. But it was an intellectual guy. He was an intellectual. He can quote you all type of theories, everything. He engaged in a lot of what Chairman Fred referred to as intellectual masturbation. And he was like, man, why are the people all coming together for this? And my response, I was in isolation. I remember the response. I would respond. We in an arena, a genre that we cannot simply suffice on that, just a legal counsel, or what was permission. Depending on the people's political muscle is certain, not to give certain things life. That's the pros and cons. When you're talking about a revolutionary organization, you're talking about a legacy. That's the other entities that are validated. So you can't, you can't say that you, as I say, like, even talking about there's a lot of criticism, slander on my mother, about the Chairman Fred and her being married. And see, this is the organization that stood up consistent, say, man, we clear the machine is vamping on us. We clear the state is getting before it got exposed about the COINTELPRO. We know who assassinating us. We calling the question. And then to the position, dog, we not finna go there. We not finna say this on Monday, then come down on Tuesday and say, excuse me, could you validate our relationships? It was a consistency. So we had to be consistent with that. The people have to up their political muscle to say, hey man, we know what the Black Panther Party, you know what I'm saying? We can't be waiting to be breastfed and say, wait a minute, this is that. Like it's a certain, like a guy called me one day on the radio show, he said, I'm worried about AI. Because I'm concerned that somebody might call my daughter sound like me and get my daughter to come outside and meet with them or something. I say, how about we set a climate? Because you can't beat this on technology just, you know what I'm saying, alone. We might can get down with it. However, how about we your daughter understands you to the point, I don't care how closely it sounds to you, that ain't your daddy, to know who her daddy is. How about we cultivate the soil to the point that the people, you know what I'm saying, check their own subjectiveness. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean by that? Some people be black when it's beneficial, play Panther when it's profitable, and Cubs when it's comfortable. People say, like, why would you say this guy Keefe D? Why would he even lie and say he was involved in Tupac assassination? I said, man, could you imagine how many relationships alone with women alone for his name being mentioned in the same sentence with Pac? It's certain things need life. You'll be surprised how much can be smothered out, but not even giving it. You know what I'm saying? But not even feeding up into it. A reporter said to me one time about 15 years ago. He said, when I had first met you, I first seen you, I went back and reported to the editor that you had a hearing problem. I said, excuse me? He said, I kept saying about tying you to different organizations because that's how he said the story was already written. He said, and we was tying you into it. You never responded to me. I went back to the editor. I said, he has a serious hearing problem. He couldn't hear. It wasn't until later on down the road. He said, because the words you were saying, it didn't fit our sound bite. We didn't run. We wanted sensationalism. To say certain things. You didn't fit into that. And you say you didn't debate with me, you didn't respond with nothing. And so I really thought you had a hearing problem. So in other words, some people have to get some hearing problems. Yeah. Cause you see certain, like it's certain. I know some sisters when they walk through certain arenas. I don't care how many people whistle at them, say certain. You can't be talking to them. Up the ante when you know what it is. Do some real. Check yourself and say, man, wait a minute. I look at this different dynamic. Come and check all to say, man, the sacrifice. And a lot of things you won't be able to grasp because there's a certain, like I said, there's certain things about the Panther Party that you can't. Man, I'm learning as we speak. I'm telling you, I'm learning as we speak. I'm seeing and be able to open the door. I tell you, like a relationship. I tell you, you meet the first the relationship, everything is, oh yeah, I agree with you on it. Yeah, this is the ideal thing. Everything sounds good. Everything, and then you go down the road like, man, you know what, this motherfucker, but it was there all the time. It was there all the time. So you come in, even the romanticism of Black Panther Party, oh, it's a beautiful group of everybody was revolutionaries, how they all love the people. Sounds good. Sounds good. When you have a situation in time to look at certain dynamics, to study the contradictions, to relate to what Minister U.E.P. Newton said, contradictions are the ruling principle of the universe. There are rare opportunities, and there's a rare opportunity. Study the cases of Pac, what's going on right now. Zoom in on the case of Chairman Fred Jr. is fighting right now. Free them all.
Free them all, Black Power. Commander A, you're going to be the last question, then we're going to close out.
Black Power. Chairman Fred, want to express my gratitude for being on this Zoom call with you. Really appreciate the work that you've done in the community. And also, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. I was doing a kids program the other day, and this fifth grader, he couldn't even read, man. So I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to take him under my wing, In that aspect, like, who was your role models growing up? You know what I'm saying? Who kind of guided you? In a sense, I don't know too much about your history, like the personal part, but as far as like, making it, and being and having a father figure in your life, who kind of like helped you mold that in a sense, kind of like with Tupac, he had Matulo to help mold him, and, I just want to say that, from coming up from that, you did a pretty good job with staying in the movement, being consistent, and still being there for the people. Black Power.
Black Power, free them all. I said in one of my poems, poetry is released from me also, for those who don't know. I said something to the effect that I learned lessons from your legend on what a man was supposed to be. I learned lessons from your legend on what a man was supposed to be. I've been fortunate, certain brothers and sisters have impacted me. They don't even know they've impacted me. I've studied the good, the bad, the ugly. I listen to conversations about people, just simple things like shaving or whatever the case might be. I study different dynamics, and I listened. I was around when they used to burn the wood around the garbage cans. I've been around. That's the old thing that was there. Y'all don't know about that in the South probably. It's cold and it get cold when in Chicago. And in fact, in that corner video, a comment in Last Poets, you see that was a common thing. Both the brothers and sisters be around. They drinking they white port and they around that fire. But it's the images we all impact them. We also starting the preface of recognizing where we at to know what happened. Like I say, though the government took my father, took Chairman Fred in a graphic depiction, they attempted to take all of our fathers, all our mothers, in one way or another, shoot them down, string them out, lock them up, some way. So first of all, to be clear with that, to check our emotion. Like I said, the last question. A lot of times we come in, we see things how we want to see them. Oh man, that's my cousin. He said he a parent. You know what I'm saying? I hear you. And see, once you start compromising a little bit, it's like once you make certain deals, you start altering definitions. You know what I'm saying? You go to AutoZone and say, well, this part is cheaper. This spark plug is cheaper if you had this car. Well, you know what? It's kind of like a Ford. Not you know what I'm saying? And start, then you start compromising certain things. Certain things especially on the plantation, we got to alter. We got to say, okay, throw a little more eggs and throw a little milk in there, scrambled egg. We call that you make up our thing. Etouffee. So certain things you just say no. This is this. This is certain. It's certain lines. Like I tell people, like even the situation, the conscience we dealing with now, I don't mind certain embellishment. With fish story, man, yeah. When the deal is this system, you talking about the system. They come. they gonna gut you. You know what I'm saying? You be like, okay, man, I'll let that slide. Look at any country. They go, you like, okay, man, y'all come on over, man. You know, how about we do this? We working in concert. Okay, France, you do it. You're like, oh, hold on, man, damn. I took my language. Now I can't say this. Man, it's a rap. That's how I get down. So it's recognizing when you're dealing with a system that attempts to, I tell people, that attempts to take every aspect of your manhood, your womanhood, your humanity, and then you start looking at different dynamics. You say, let me take this, let me get this aspect. You know, I tell people, say, James Amos, who played James Evans in Good Times. You know what I'm saying? When you're on a plantation, you grasp what you can grasp. It's certain, you understand that the food, like the food is different. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take this. Our religion. Say, man, this ain't our real. Hold on. This is put it in context. I said, you put stuff in context. I talk with people who subjective all the time. They got to say, this is trying to have a lot of cultural nationalists. This abstract king and queen thing. Yeah. I just did this here. I said, we got to work with some niggas. Yeah. See this ideal world? We deal with the real world. You know what I'm saying? You start putting in context, and you can't understand people doing the dope and demoralizing. You put context, it's a humbling Vietnam and how people deal with certain situations, this system. And if you have, a lot of people have no frame of reference. They went through a lineage of Puffy Combs. They couldn't find out one slave in their lineage. Not one. Not one. You study history, you start putting stuff. You can't talk to some people about how cold it is in Alaska. They ain't never seen no winters. Some frame of reference. You start, what's his name? College G. Wilson. You start, man, was Booker T, which one it was? They castrated him. You say, how normal this was, how common this was. You start saying, damn. You start getting history. You humble yourself and say, damn, these motherfuckers ain't no joke. You start, for a person just to come through this, to be this, you say, man, you could pick out, you look at, it's certain brothers in me who don't even know the impact they had on my life. I remember this one brother, and ironically, it was a post to him on social media the other day. And I said, damn, he's dead now. But it was a post to him sitting in sitting in a wicker chair with a baseball cap with X on it. I said, oh man, you can't make this up. I remember this cat as a youngster. I was a youngster. This cat was in what they call the MH room, the slow room. This cat was so genius. I was watching on the streets, war tactician. I remember I read Sun Tzu, Art of War. I said, man, I learned this from dude as a shorty. I listened to him. We sit on the corner. I would listen to him, the struggle, him and his wife, he dealt with his woman, his wife. I listened to that. Then I remember that the respect he had. I remember that. Some people ain't never seen that. You know what I'm saying? I was fortunate to hear these different dynamics. And it's stuff in our community. Of course, there's no gift. We say there's no gift revolution, there's no perfect allies, and there's no classic school. Anything that come in our community, believe me, it got cut on it. It got cut on it. I'm talking not just the dope. I'm talking about I'm talking about the food. I'm talking about the lessons. I'm talking the religious institution. Oh, it got cut on it. Yeah. The DVD, it got cut on it. But you recognize, say, hey man, wait a minute, to get this, to see this. To look at, man, you listen to dude, man, the old man, he be drinking. Yeah. What dream world you in, man? Oh, this rapper, they say such and such. What dream world are y'all in? This is a plantation. Well, they breed motherfuckers. Do you know what's going with this? And shit, it's nothing that they doing compared to what the fuck this system is just done to motherfuckers. Man, I'm talking about, I done seen all the structure. I done seen some of the representatives of Mr. Larry Hoover, the representatives of Mr. Chief Imam Malik. I done seen the different dynamics of it. I done seen their body language. Even people we may have ideological differences. Nation of Islam, you done see to see these different dynamics. To be able to take the church to see and don't come in with a blanket approach. What General Marcus Mosiah God we say take with a ply, let the rest fly. It's an old African axiom. Eat the fish, leave the bones. Our community is there. And it's certain, sometimes it's coded. Sometimes it comes in adversary. I done had adversaries. I remember this one brother, He's no longer physically here no more. I mean, we had some struggles. And this is a hell of a force. They had him on America's Most Wanted. He was a hell of a force. And one time we had a situation, and he told me that he said, man, you your daddy's son. I said, yeah. I said, I don't think I need no more Pope to tell me that. I'm playing. He said, yeah, man. He said, yeah, you him. You his son. He came to visit me in the county jail. But even when we had our odds, even in battlefield, I study different dynamics. You know what I'm saying? So you can't come in. A lot of people come with this subjective. You know, you'll hear people, they'll say something like, well, such. George Foreman, I mentioned George Foreman earlier. George Foreman was a hell of a boxer. Oh, don't get it twisted. Politically, we are a million miles apart. To be able to come in, check your subjectivity. A lot of people who have a race or a class, especially a class privilege, it got to be this perfect layout for them. And look, it blows me away. What plantation was y'all on? Oh, you don't know what on the house. You don't know how this shit go out. We had to work with the fuck we had to work with on the field. Shit. And was cognitive. A lot of times they did too in the house, but they had them euphemisms. Oh, what's going on with the bed wench? Oh, the master is seeing her for relation. Oh no, I hear he told us he coming to rape that raper. Oh, we didn't get the luxury of those euphemisms. So yeah, we had a different class. You know what I'm saying? It's in a row. It's in a row. And then certain periods of time, when the covers get pulled off, that's when you got to seize the time. When it's getting down, it's point blank in a row. They hitting what you call them, the indentured servants. They hitting the house niggas, the field. You see, yeah, welcome, come on, yeah. Matter of fact, bring some of them biscuits and butter knives you motherfuckers been getting them stashed over there. Bring them out. Bring the information, the education, the stuff that you know about. We can work together. We still, in fact, it was a thing, Bacon's Rebellion. Check out Bacon's Rebellion. Bacon's Rebellion was a time period when there was a clash between the colonialists and the initial colonies. You know what I'm saying? Battle between. You know what I'm saying? And certain periods of time, I said, people coalitions can be bridged. You can find different dynamics. But again, the community is so many dynamics there that are not validated and not officiated, by the ruling class. And many people miss that. They're looking for this. Well, I didn't know. Did you have a degree? Man, that sister went over to Gary and She didn't look for she asked for my tree cutting degree. That, you know what I'm saying? That was treated laying by her front porch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these, I mean, we was, when I was locked up, you had somebody inside the prison, inside the concentration camp. I know this one brother, we used to laugh, he walked past, are y'all chartered? I said, no, I'm proud about it. Proud about it. Now what? Yeah. It comes a certain period of time when the emperor has no clothes, you start looking at that motherfucker different. You start saying, wait a minute, these motherfuckers bogus. See, they been selling me all this old filtered ass pictures, how great imperialism looking shit. You start saying, wait a minute, these motherfuckers, they white fucked up. They fucked up. You start looking at yourself different. Cause they been selling you this snake oil all the time. Reason why your electric bills cut off, you know what I'm saying? Cause you don't work hard enough, you know what I'm saying? You don't pray enough, you ain't got no degree and shit. You start finding out, man, that what's Indiana? Power company. You start the deals they done made with the data company. You start finding out Detroit, Michigan had the Detroit Tigers ain't got to pay their water bill. You know what I'm saying? Flint, Michigan fucked up. Oh, I thought they were just some great economists that they was paying it. That's why they got good water. Motherfucker, this year's this, and you've been paying more to balance up the deals that they done made in Israel. You said, wait a minute. I didn't know my black ass on this. I impact the world like this here. I see why. I've been thinking that these other groups are better organized. They get more coverage on shit. You know what I'm saying? We speak more well. But you start saying, wait a minute. The Black Panther Party, what happened to them? The issue between the genders. That's what they do. What? So you saying all these other organizations just survived because they didn't have no issue between men and women? And you start selling that snake oil. They want that shit to you so long. You make that shit sound logical. And you said, what about the COINTELPRO? The what? What is it? It's some Marcus. Garvey. Garvey weren't that really good with economics. That's why the UNI was. What? What about the first Negro? The first Negro FBI agent was created to go into Garvey. What about J. Edgar Hoover being a district attorney and he was propelled to be the FBI was created going at Garvey? Oh, that important. Shit. When you start, you have to go back and reassess everything in your classroom, and which a lot of times y'all mamas and daddies and they daddy churches. Yeah. And see, when we come with that Cub scalpel, that Panther politic, that scalpel, trying to cut that cancer, a lot of motherfuckers be defensive. They see it as a knife.